Iowa State. I'm Cassi.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Oh, man. So
Yeah.
a deep sigh. I really do feel like we've lived a million lifetimes since we recorded last. Because our last episode, we were like RIP TikTok. And that lasted for 12 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
And then TikTok was back up, which honestly, embarrassing for us.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Well, and it's back, but it's like...
It's different.
It is different, right? Like it's taken a while for my algorithm to get itself back together or something. I don't know. And it's like, I think 5 million ads.
Yeah, I think things are being suppressed, not to get all weird and conspiratorial on this podcast. No, it is Aquarius season, so maybe we should.
Yeah. Oh, I'm down. I'll get
in.
my tinfoil hat right now. No, it is noticeably different. I have found a new creator, though, that I want everyone to go follow and make famous. Let me go find what his name is. He's so good. What is his name? Nope, that's Andruski.
Nobody's heard of him.
His name is Dylan. It's just Dylan. And he does. Yes. And he does this series. If I was a girl. Also, all of his TikToks is like, if I was a girl, I would dump a man if he wouldn't fuck me on my period. Like, and my name would be Charlotte, and I would have the copper IUD. Like, he's so funny.
I'm loving it.
He's so great. Yeah. So everyone go make that person famous.
I mean, listen, I do think there's some sus shit around the TikTok and like, honestly, all social media right now, I'm giving the side eye to. I'm not super comfy cozy with any of it.
Nope.
I would like to get rid of all of it, but there still is some magic on that app. Like there are still some things on there that I'm just like, oh, this brings me so much fucking joy. You know, just because it's not about the app, it's about the creators. It's about the people on there who are so full of so much like, you know, ingenuity and creativity and like,
I deleted
cool.
Facebook. But I kept Blue Sky and TikTok. But then I was like at this event, like I said, over the weekend, and I was there with a bunch of people I knew from like for years, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't really have a way to like connect with them, like
it's hard.
sharing pictures.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got back on Instagram.
Yeah.
An app that I rarely use anyway, but I was like, I don't know, like it's nice to...
Our world has been so built up around these things now. I mean, it's the same thing with like, obviously, I think that Jeff Bezos is, but like, it's hard not to use Amazon or something that Amazon owns, you know, and it's hard not to use something that Meta owns. Like we're in this like like we're in like basically a corporatocracy at this point, and our lives are built around this. Like there just is no ethical, you know, consumption under capitalism. There's just no way to avoid a lot of this stuff. Unfortunately. And that's really difficult because morally I would like to.
Well, yeah. And I'm worried about, you know, the propaganda opportunities, obviously, with all of social media being like the number one place that people get news, information, etc. Now being like bending the knee, feels ripe for people to get taken advantage of.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That leads us into something that we can talk about.
Oh, geez.
I shouldn't laugh. I really shouldn't laugh. But,
no,
you know,
especially for someone who thought they were dating.
I was 14. I was 14. And the internet was new, Cassie.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true. That's true.
taking that from you. All right. All of our grandparents thought that they were like being courted by Nigerian princes. Like,
this is true. Listen,
it was
you're
a
right.
time. It was
we were
a time
sending
and a
around
place.
like send this love or this chain mail to 15
Which, like,
people or
right. Where you were like, no, that's not true. But like low key, I'm going to do it anyway, like just in case.
Yeah.
Because it was always like, you have to send this letter to 15 people or else you'll die in 12 days. It's like, I saw the ring. I'm not taking any fucking risk at all.
But you know what? Look
God.
where we're at. And I got to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever forwarded one of those chain mails ever. So
yeah, that's true. Collectively as a
fault?
nation,
Is that
we
how
didn't do our part.
We fucked up the timeline. We did not. Yeah.
We did not share that one
That
chain
one chain
letter.
mail. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. Look at us. But there's this article. So I'd seen this floating around, and the first thing I had seen were the pictures, right? Because these are like AI generated pictures. But then this article from the Huffington Post, the title of it just made me laugh because the title is Brad Pitt is not in love with you. Here's how to protect yourself and loved ones from AI scams.
First of all, I have seen those pictures,
Yes,
and AI has come a very, very long way in a short time.
Yes,
that
but not long
fucking shit
enough.
was not AI.
That looks like
that
Photoshop.
shit looks like
Photoshop.
early Photoshop.
Yes.
It is so bad. There was one where he was getting surgery, and his head is like South Park stitched, like.
And his head is so
And he's
clearly
smiling.
taken, and it's so clearly taken from a like red carpet photo.
Yes.
You know what I
Oh
mean? Where
my
I'm just like, no one
God.
looks like that. Not even Brad Pitt. No one looks
In
like that when they are in the hospital for surgery.
It's so funny.
Send
We
money.
have to put
What?
some of those pictures up in the carousel
Okay,
for
make a note of that
Oh
so that
my God.
I remember to do that. But so there's this woman in France, and she recently got conned out of $865,000
How?
No.
doll hairs.
Dude, honestly,
has that money?
after 10K, that's on you.
I'm sorry. After 1K.
And it's Brad Pitt. Okay, so she thinks it's Brad Pitt.
That Brad Pitt
So
money.
well, but no, he doesn't.
He owns a winery.
You see what had happened was
Okay.
this
Here we
woman who goes by Anne in the media, like God bless her, real name is not revealed. Thank God for her. But she suffered enough. She's out $865,000. But she was contacted by Brad Pitt's mother on the internet.
What?
Contacted by Brad Pitt's mom, and she's like, my son needs somebody like you in his life.
Oh my God.
So hooked up with Brad Pitt through his mom. Mind
How
you,
old is this woman?
Anne is married.
How old is this
I don't
woman?
know. I don't know actually how old she is, but I think she's not like a 20-year-old. But so mind you, Anne is married at this point. She's contacted by Brad Pitt's mom. Brad Pitt's mom's like, I'd love to hook you up with my son.
No.
So they start talking. She starts talking to Brad Pitt. They hit it off, right? She's like, I was in love with this man. He knew all the right things to say to a woman. I was like in love with him.
He had a weird accent. I don't know why though.
Yeah, it was so bizarre.
Are they just like talking through writing, or can
don't-
this guy do a killer Brad Pitt impression?
Maybe.
Oh,
you know,
my
I've seen many TikToks of very good impersonators. But so she's talking to him, and he tells her that he has some kind of let me see if I can find it. He needs surgery, or he has kidney cancer. That's what he says. He has kidney cancer,
And no one knows but her.
No one knows about her. It's not news or anything. It's not in the tabloids. So he needs money for treatment because his divorce from Angelina Jolie had frozen all of his bank accounts. So he has no access to money. And he's literally best friends with like multi-millionaires.
Yeah, George Clooney. He can't call him up and ask
his
him
good
for-
friend George.
Oh my God.
He's got to talk to Anne about this. So
Poor Anne from France.
so
who his mother has hooked him up with.
Right. So like Anne is like, you got it, babe. I'm going to divorce my husband. Divorces her husband. Gets a divorce settlement from like her husband and uses that money to send to quote unquote Brad Pitt.
Oh my God.
Yes.
She's
Her
not
ex.
looking at any of the their tabloid stories about Brad Pitt dating.
Because it started in 2023. So it's been like over a year. You know, and you're right. He's dating someone else.
Yes.
There are what's his explanation to you? Like he's got to I have to do that for my public image, but it's really for you. It's all about you. So yeah, I mean, and this leads to the bigger question because this article talks about how, that sounds so insane.
Yeah.
But apparently nearly 70,000 people reported romance scams to the Federal Trade Commission in 2022.
This is so heartbreaking.
And there was a $1.3 billion loss total from those.
Jesus Christ.
And the average amount lost, Anne went above and beyond, but
For
the average
Brad,
amount per person that is lost is about $4,400 before people are like, oof, I need to stop, sending
Dude,
person money.
I have two things. First of all, if someone asks me for an amount of money to borrow that's above $20, I have questions.
We're gonna have to go for a
You know what I mean?
deep dive conversation. Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Like, I think my amount would be like 100. Like if and I'm talking about that's someone I know.
Exactly.
I'm not talking
Someone on the
about like
internet?
I still want to know. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
if you asked me
totally.
for $100, I'd be like, "Why? What's going on?"
100%.
Well, also, yeah, you'd be like, why do you need... Oh,
Yeah, what's going on?
I would want, like, what's going on?
Yeah,
What's
You
the
know
tea?
what's the tea? But then also, I'm like, this generation, I'm guessing, is older than us that this happened to, or even our age, grew up telling us not to believe
Don't trust
everything they
strangers.
see on the internet, and they're also. I'm like, where is the fucking like
common sense
PSA that can go out there to like inform these people? Not everything you see on television or on the internet or whatever it's not true. Like,
Right, and it's only going to get worse.
Critical thinking skills,
Right.
people. Jesus fucking Christ.
Because like you said, these pictures look like bad
They're
Photoshop. Like they're,
laughable.
I mean, truly not good. However, AI is getting better every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, if people are already being scammed like this, I mean, people were scammed pre-Photoshop, you know? So like, if people are already being scammed like this, it is only going to get worse.
It's
Like
the Hollywood sign on fire.
yes,
That was
oh my
shared
God.
like
So
a billion
bullshit.
times. And I was like, it's obviously fucking fake, but it
Yeah.
was all
and you
fucking
don't think
over
that
Facebook.
that would be in again, like the Hollywood sign is so iconic. You don't think that that would be in every news report. You don't think
Right.
that that would be the cover photo of every single article that's written about the LA fires would be the picture of the Hollywood sign on fire.
Yeah.
Like if you're only seeing it in this one source on Facebook, it's probably not true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what a difference too when you think about social media now. What I think about and what I compare is not just content, but comment sections.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Because the
dive
comment
immediately
section
to
on
it.
Facebook bums me the fuck out, and I
Same.
just it
Same.
is a
I
bummer.
cannot live there.
It's a
Yeah.
bummer. The comment section on Insta still feels a little like hashtag girl boss to me.
Yeah.
Hashtag aspirational still feels geared towards celebs and shit like that.
Yeah, it's not
the
for me.
comment section of TikTok
For the
sometimes makes
people.
me laugh.
Yes.
For the people.
More- oh my
yeah,
God.
the comment
It's the
section on
best part
TikTok,
of TikTok.
truly people are so funny. People are so clever. I will say that because, you know, there was a lot of people when we returned, when we were like, we're back, bitches, on TikTok after 12 hours. Like, there were people on there who were like celebrating that we were gone. But then there were also people from other countries who were like, it was so quiet here without you. You guys are so funny. We're so happy you're back.
That's right, bitches. Elite
You know,
status.
Americans do have an elite sense of humor.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
might be loud and there might be a lot of other things about us that you don't like, but we've had to cope and cope hard, especially the last few years. So we have developed a traumatized sense of humor that you can't beat.
People don't know. Like we pay for ambulances.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
let that sink
Yeah.
in. That's apparently not
lot.
not a global thing, but
No, that's a
Definitely
lot.
not. No.
it's up
No, no,
there.
no.
It's-
Yeah.
we have to laugh or we would cry.
Oh,
So,
God. Yeah. Why do you think the three of us are so funny?
Exactly.
truly. Trauma.
Trauma bonding. That's all of the US is anymore. We're just
Yeah.
trauma bonded.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well, I mean, watch out if Brad Pitt tells you he needs $800,000.
Yeah.
Listen,
HuffPost says he doesn't love you.
I am
Doesn't.
not
How dare
giving
they?
anyone money if I haven't seen them on
Agree.
face to face.
Oh, 100%. No.
No. I'm gonna have to write
so
you
weird
a
about
personal
money too. Like
handwritten check in person or some shit.
I
I don't know.
still have poverty PTSD from when I
Bro,
was like at my
same.
poorest. Like
Yes.
I'm not. Look,
Dude, my bed right now is so high up off the ground. And I truly think that it is because
it's like where
Of
are you
my-
going with this?
my
so weird.
poverty trauma.
because you slept on the floor.
Yes,
I understand.
I have to
Yes.
get up,
Relatable.
up, super
God.
high. I've gone from like at one point I slept on coats.
Yeah.
I know
on the floor.
having
Yeah,
a
see?
good mattress when you, because I know I've
Girl.
told this story before because we've had the coat story and I've told mine of like I slept on an air mattress that had a hole in it that I could not patch,
Nothing
and so
is
it
worse.
just became part of like the nightly routine that it's just like at around like 3 a.m. we're gonna be starting to get close to the floor, so you just gotta like wake up and flip that switch to refill it.
Oh, God.
In the middle of the night. And I did that for like over a year.
Yeah.
And after that happens, you will never be like happier to have like a nice,
Yes.
comfy,
Yeah.
like
I'm
mattress.
a grown adult in my 40s, and literally for the first month, like I felt like a first month in living in this apartment where we were waiting for our furniture is laying on the floor. I'm like, I'm too fucking old for this
No.
shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep.
Too old for
Literally.
this shit. And I thought
Yeah.
about your coat story, and I will tell you that coats actually did help.
Yeah.
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 I
A
mean-
thick winter coat.
Yeah.
Oh, but it would suck when you adjust yourself in the night and
God.
like poke yourself with a zipper.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Girl.
No. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Nothing's
So
worse.
to your
Yeah.
point, I'm not sending anybody any money until we've met, we've talked in person. I'm convinced
Yeah.
that you actually need help. Like, no.
Yeah.
No one on the internet is asking for money. Like, it's
Truly.
so nefarious.
Yeah.
It's so nefarious. Don't give people on the internet money.
No.
Also,
even if they say
and-
it's me.
And you had Brad Pitt's mom's contact information. I'd be like, can you lend your son some money?
Truly.
Like-
you gotta look out for your son.
Your son has kidney cancer.
Yeah.
So could you take care of
Now,
that?
I do buy the fact that his kidney cancer treatments cost $865,000.
Yeah.
That is a
That's
hashtag
believable.
cries in America.
And that's actually
Yeah, but
with,
you know what?
with
He can
insurance.
he can go into debt like the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Truly.
That's how everybody else does it. I'm not asking a stranger to pay my medical bills.
Right, well,
Or start a
my God.
GoFundMe, Brad Pitt.
GoFundMe. I was gonna say.
There you go.
That's honestly the American healthcare system.
It is
It's GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
It's a huge
Bummer.
GoFundMe
It is
account.
such a bummer.
Oh God.
Anyway, it's Aquarius season, friends.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's the age of Aquarius.
It's the age of Aquarius.
This
Here's
is the
hoping.
dawn of the age of Aquarius. Sorry.
No,
Yeah. No.
that is exactly right. So it is time for us to fuck, marry, kill some Aquarians.
Yes. I'm actually looking to see if a certain individual
You get Aquarius vibes from this
Is-
person?
is an Aquarius zodiac sign.
Oh, I see who you're looking up, and it's not. Yeah,
Oh.
yes. So she was looking up Luigi Mangione.
That's
You're like,
right. We
maybe. I
did look
don't
him
know.
up
We talked
before.
about him.
Taurus, Sun, Virgo, Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. And I think he has a fire rising or something
That
like
tracks.
that.
Yeah. Oh, Aries rising.
An Aries
That-
rising. Yeah.
That
so
tracks.
that combo, you're like, yes, of course. Yeah, of course you get that.
Obviously.
Yes.
But we've already fuck, marry, killed some pretty prominent Aquarians, so we're not going to do them again. But Harry Styles is the most Aquarius.
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
he radiates Aquarian energy. We've done Jennifer Aniston many times, so we're trying to pick people who we either haven't done or haven't done in a long time.
Right.
So I'm going to pick, and actually this makes a weird amount of sense to me, especially since we went to that iHeart party where she was DJing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Because on the surface, I'm like, she doesn't necessarily radiate Aquarius energy. But if I think about it for a few seconds, I'm like, she has a mansion for her dogs that's air conditioned. She DJs.
Yeah.
She gives
yeah.
me.
I
I'm like,
fucking
It's a
love
bit of
Paris
chaos.
Hilton so much.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
I'm loving the fact. Are they bringing Simple Life
Yes.
back?
Yes.
Living for that.
I have to tell you, the Simple Life is one of those things that I didn't appreciate in its time because I was like, ugh, these rich, like as a middle schooler, I was like,
Right.
oh, these like rich
Go back and
celebrities.
watch it.
But when you find clips of the Simple Life
It's
now,
so funny.
so funny. And knowing that these two women, it is who they are, but it's also partially a character and they're so good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It truly, I think Paris Hilton, unspoken talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like she walked so that the Kardashians could run.
Well,
So this is her fault, is what you're saying?
I mean, it actually
little
kind
bit.
of is because Kim Kardashian used to organize her closet.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow.
Cassie,
guys
who are
doing?
you doing?
I'm gonna do Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I just think he's
God, I loved
He
him.
gives
I
me
was in
such a-
love with him.
yeah, like he gives me such Aquarius vibes, but like in the best way. Like he's just has this like kind
Yeah.
of weird energy, but just perfectly right. You're definitely going to talk about aliens with him. He doesn't seem
yeah.
like off the cuff like somebody like that, but he for sure is.
Yeah, he's going to be real chill about it. It's just going to be a matter
Truly.
of fact kind of
Yes.
conversation with him. I don't think it's going to be like aliens. You know what I mean? It's just going to be like, yeah, so this is all the evidence. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am going for somebody we haven't done before. I love her, Elizabeth Banks.
I love her too.
Me too.
She's so funny.
Funny and underrated.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous.
She
I
is
think I know
very
what I'm gonna do.
underrated. Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do because I really like Elizabeth Banks. And I think that I want to marry Elizabeth Banks.
I
feel like
it's a good
matches
choice.
so well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's gonna like she's in that place in her life where she doesn't like really have to prove herself anymore. It's like, you know, it's just gonna be, I see us like moving to England, to the countryside. Oh wait, with Ellen. Portia. No, but like just, you know, having a nice peaceful existence.
Oh, I see
You
her
know?
as like a city girl for
Okay.
sure. And just
All right,
like
London.
in it. And
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. I agree with you. I do. I see her as a city. She also seems like the kind of person who she's not going to dominate the dinner table.
Right.
But when she contributes, it's going to be
It's
meaningful.
stellar.
plays,
Yeah.
too.
It's gonna be
Yeah, she's
stellar.
going to be funny.
I want to gossip with her.
Oh, yes. She does give good gossip vibes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's got that
Oh.
like come in the other room with me real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Can I
And
tell
she
you
sees
something?
everything.
She's like,
Yes, I want
I'm
to know
trying to be a
everything.
bitch, but
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
all
Please
be a
ears.
bitch. Please be a bitch.
And then I'm gonna fuck Joseph Gordon-Levitt because I just think that there's something quietly sexy about him. He's a little
Yeah.
weird, and that also intrigues me.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I want to
Okay.
be friends with Paris. Are you kidding me? Like, duh. I want to hang out with you all the time. We're going to be besties.
I want to hang out with her and Nicole Richie. I think that would be, imagine the gossip sesh
Yes.
there. I feel like Nicole Richie can gossip. I feel like she's got good
primo.
hot goss. you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, this is a little tough because actually my instinct was to marry Paris Hilton. Like I was like, I think that would be fun. But I don't know if I want to be that close to the Richards sisters. You know what I mean? That's chaos. I've watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and I'm like, that seems like chaos to me.
Yeah, you'd be kind of above it though. You would get to observe it closer.
Let them be in the muck.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just rise above. I feel like that's what Paris does, actually.
Muck adjacent.
So, yeah, muck adjacent's not so bad. All right. Okay, I'm going to marry Paris.
I love
Yeah.
this for
There's just-
you.
I just think it would be fun. Like, and I also do think she has a level of weird. I think she'll talk to you about aliens too.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's been through some shit.
And she's been through some shit, and I love her advocacy.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love, and she's actually so. This is how you know that all that like stuff was an act because she's actually so well spoken.
Oh, yeah.
and articulate. And so I
Marketing genius.
Yeah.
Branding genius.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hot.
so that's hot. Oh my God. When I had my other podcast, she commented, like her account commented on one of the posts we made and she said, "That's hot."
Ugh.
And I was like, oh my God.
Screenshot.
I did screenshot it. And I was just like, 2008 me is freaking out.
2024 me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be like, holy shit.
Yeah. I am. Ooh, okay. This is a little tough for me because I would gladly fuck either Elizabeth Banks or Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Right. Yeah.
But I think to satisfy that, deep millennial crush in me, I'm going to
Yeah.
have to fuck Joseph Gordon-Levitt because I would have wanted to, just to tell my 15-year-old self that, hey, we
He's
did
gonna
it.
be
We made
weird.
it.
You just know.
Yeah,
it's
he's
gonna,
kinky. In a good way. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
something
gonna
weird's gonna
surprise you.
happen.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what he's going to surprise you with, and that is the tripod.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he gives like,
Yeah.
He's got
tripod.
very casual big dick energy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok this morning where somebody was like, every girl has that story.
Oh, yeah.
Of that
Yes.
skinny
Yes,
dude.
it's always the skinny guy.
tall
It's
guy.
the skinny tall
Yes.
guy, and then all of a sudden it's like a fucking monster. A monster.
It's a canon event. I do feel
It
like
truly
everyone
is.
has that. Yeah.
Where you're just like, I know exactly who I'm thinking of now, and you would
Me too.
never, ever have
See it
guessed
coming?
it. It's always like just a quiet, skinny dude,
Yep.
and then just whips out the world-ending dong.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
I don't want my world to be ended. But
just like
You're like,
holy
this is actually
crap, what
slightly
a custard
uncomfortable.
chucker.
what did you just
A custard chucker? What does that even mean? What is that? What does
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like it. Ew.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But I do. I don't know how to move on from this. I
that.
do want to be friends with Elizabeth Banks. Okay, I'm done. Your turn, Christina.
I'm marrying Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, good.
Oh, man.
We're all
Somebody's
married
gotta
to
lock it
people.
down.
Yeah.
I can't move on.
Oh my god.
It's making me
But
hot.
yes. It make me hot too.
Oh no.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
But yeah, no. We would have I think too that he's the most serious of the three. We would have the
Yeah.
strangest fucking conversations.
For sure.
The weirdest.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm marrying it. And
Also,
then
he's still hot. I saw
Yes.
pictures of him. I think he's in something.
Yeah, that just came out.
Yeah.
he's gonna get hotter as he ages too.
Yeah.
Like
Into it.
yeah. And then I'm gonna fuck Elizabeth Banks because
All
I
right.
just think she seems like more fun.
I think
in
she'd
the
be really
sack.
fun.
She'd
in
be
bed,
fun.
Actually.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Okie dokie then.
transition out of that.
I'm sorry if this episode is called Custard Chucker. I might spew out my coffee when I see it pop
you guys, you do this to me because I'm the one who makes the graphics that have to go up on social media, and sometimes the names of these episodes I'm embarrassed by. Like I'm typing them out, and I'm just like, my mom follows us, and she has to sigh heavily and double tap on the post.
Custard Chucker.
Like, my God, what are we doing? I don't know. We do have a couple of new patrons that I want to give a shout out to. So welcome, Chelsea Phillips. We're so excited to have you joining us on Patreon. And also Hannah, just Hannah, like Cher.
Love it.
Welcome. We are so grateful for you. We do have a lot of things coming. I feel like we always say that, but it's true. We do have a lot of things coming up for our patrons and also, all of our listeners. Also on Patreon, I do want to say that at the $5 level, you receive the movie once a month that we put out.
And boy, do we have a fun one for you coming up in Feb.
You're welcome.
Cassie really
Please, bitches.
threw us to the
this
wolves.
is going to be fucking hilarious, and
it's going to be fun. So Cassie made
I
us
know it
watch
is.
a movie called Beautiful Disaster. Like 6 months ago or something, and now
and
we
only
have to
half
watch
that name of that film is right.
Yeah. And now we have to watch the sequel, The Beautiful Wedding. So that will be the next episode that's coming up. But I do want to say, if you have a Patreon account or if you're following us at a lower patron level and you're like, I'm not really I don't need all of the movies, but I am interested in listening to their take on this one specific movie. There is now an option on Patreon to just pay one time to watch, and I think the lowest that they allow you to do is $3, so that's what I selected. So if you're like, I really want to listen to them destroy The Beautiful Wedding, but you don't really want to do a monthly subscription, you can now just do like a one-off. So that is an option for you. But thank you so much to Chelsea and
Hannah, thank you. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And we're back. Okay, Christina.
All right. I will start us off. This person says, I was the roommate in this situation, but I thought it was crazy.
More roommate stories.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
please.
Oh, I love a roommate story.
If you saw some shit go down, I want to know about it.
The best.
Unless you were my roommates and never ever read in.
Never, ever. Then your lips are sealed.
Exactly. My roommate went on a date and said it was amazing and he was so sweet. She said he was a pastor's kid and super into music and all sorts of stuff. They go on a second date and she invites him in afterwards, not to bang or anything. Neither my roommate nor I were like that. It was just to hang out for a second. It was a Tuesday and I was at home studying with my boyfriend as we were both in college. So we said hi to him and sat down to chat for a few minutes just to be friendly before my boyfriend and I retired to my room. We all had to work and or classes early in the morning. It is a Tuesday. This guy says he's work at 7 a.m. the next day, and it's actually his first day at a new job. Then he asks if we have any alcohol. I was trying to be a supportive roommate, and she said that she likes him. So I was like, oh, yeah, I think there's a few beers in the fridge if you want one. And got up to grab him one, but he said, nah, I'll get it. Kitchen this way, and went himself. He was gone for a long time. Even after I called out, they should be in the front of the fridge right when you open it.
No, if you just went to go grab a beer and you're gone for longer than like 4 minutes, I'm going to go peek my head in.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
exactly. Stranger. Eventually, he returns with a bottle of Grey Goose.
What?
It was a gift from work, and I wasn't a big drinker, so I hadn't opened it yet. But it was actually super hidden in the kitchen in a super high cabinet behind a bunch of other stuff.
So he scoured your kitchen for it.
He must have really gone searching in there to find it.
That's weird.
He said he'd just have that. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if I have any mixers. I'll grab you a glass. And he laughed and said, no need. Opened it and started chugging
the bottle. No,
Sir, you're an alcoholic. That is behavior of someone who can drink.
Just fucking throwing down some GG, like fucking straight from the bottle, warm, sitting in a cabinet, warm vodka.
As someone who likes vodka, that's disgusting.
It's a no for me, dog.
And also, like, that is so fucking rude because it's someone else's vodka.
Yes.
So you're presuming that you're going to drink that entire bottle
with your
because
mouth.
it's like, yeah,
you put your
trash mouth on my bottle.
Yeah. Immediately after chugging a shocking amount of this liter bottle, he says he wants to play guitar and asks if we have one.
Oh, no.
What?
No.
I look at my roommate and she seems a little weirded out, but all right. So I say I actually have one and wouldn't mind him doing some strumming.
Oh, no.
I mind.
I get it out of my room for him and he starts doing something. It is so bad. He then says he purposely avoids learning chords or anything about music or how to play guitar because it stifles creativity.
He's an Aquarius.
No.
That is there's literally an episode of Friends like that where Phoebe's trying to teach Joey how to play the guitar, but she doesn't actually know chords.
This is going to be the most Aquarius. My story is very, very Aquarius as well.
Oh my God. Y'all, I can't even describe how bad it sounded. He's just like,
Oh no.
we were all just looking at each other, like wondering if we were being punked.
Do you know how embarrassing this would be for the roommate?
Oh,
like you brought this man into your house. Like I would be like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I would be mortified.
Yes.
Mortified. Oh my God. We were just looking at each other. He takes a break to pull a baggie of Adderall out of his pocket and starts crushing and snorting it.
This guy has no chill.
When
he
you
is
said
at
he was
11.
when you
It's
said
a
he was a preacher's
Tuesday.
son, I knew we were in for it. But
It's a Tuesday. He has to work at 7 a.m.
We're doing Adderall.
No,
we are
you need to
chugging
go
vodka.
home.
Oh,
This has to be an early 20s story because, like, at at my big old age, I'd be like, you're going home. I am not doing this. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. My boyfriend and I said it's time for bed and excuse ourselves. And he agrees he needs to get home to bed soon to get sleep before his first day.
Are you okay to drive, though? Like, to call you an Uber?
A while later, we're woken up by screaming coming from the living room. My boyfriend and I go to see what's going on. And this guy is screaming at my roommate about what an idiot she is because she's in college and only stupid people go to college.
Okay.
My boyfriend snags him, takes him outside to calm him down, and he is seriously fucked up. I check on my roommate and she's crying and goes to bed. We tell this guy, time for you to leave, and the roommate's gone to bed and he says he doesn't have a car and can't call an Uber. We try to call him an Uber, but he says he doesn't have anywhere to go, and his friend is picking him up first thing in the morning. Then lays down on our couch and passes out.
Nope.
That information would have been useful to me yesterday.
Hours ago.
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean you have nowhere to go? Oh. We shook him awake, and I told him he needed to get out now. I remind him he needs to be at his new job in an hour.
It's his new job.
This is in an hour. It's 6 a.m.
And you don't have a car.
He complains, but walks out with us and sits on the stoop while I lock the door.
Great.
Yeah.
I come back 8 hours later.
No.
And he's still sitting on the steps.
No.
911.
I tell him he can't sit in front of our door anymore. It needs to go home. My roommate doesn't want to come home until he leaves. He says, okay. And 3 hours later, I still see him there talking to my elderly neighbors.
No.
At some point that night, I didn't see him anymore, so I guess he left.
Because those neighbors don't give a fuck. Janice next door is like, this man has been sitting on their stoop for 8 hours. I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to figure out what his deal is.
My
God.
God.
Oh my God.
Horrifying.
Oh my God. Just fucking chugging vodka, snorting Adderall on a Tuesday.
Jesus.
You got to be at your new job in an hour. Well, he didn't. He didn't. He was... Oh my God.
So much for that, I guess. Woof.
I would never live that down.
No.
I would have nightmares if I was the
roommate.
Oh
no, the guilt I would feel
forever
about that having put people through that. The way I'm coming home with like, I'm gonna cook you guys an incredible meal.
Yeah, what is the apology level for that? I do think you have to prepare
you have to do
dinner.
Something.
Yeah.
And it's not her fault, but still.
The way that would be definitely one of those trauma moments like that wake you up in the middle of the night, even well into your like 80s. You're like, oh.
Well, they had that. What's so fucked up and what's so insidious, and it's just awful, is that they had a good date and she really liked him. And I just feel so like the mortification that she must have felt when he went off the rails. Just the worst.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mean, obviously this person is just who he is, but also there are some people out there who do seem and present totally normal, and then they have like a shot of alcohol and they're just like immediately
Jekyll and Hyde.
Off the rails. Like immediately. Oh.
Yeah, better to find that out sooner than later, I think.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
Ugh. All right. I, male, 25, matched with this girl. Call her Emma, 21 on Tinder. She seemed cool, great smile, into hiking. Her profile wasn't full of all those cringy quotes. And after a few days of chatting, I asked if she wanted to grab coffee. She picked this little cafe downtown, so I went with it. I get there early, grabbed a table by the window and waited. When she walked in, I was relieved. She looked just like her pictures. We said hi, sat down, started talking, and at first it was great. We were laughing at the same stupid stuff like bad travel stories and childhood memories. And then she started talking about her Blue Food Thursdays. Wow, I can't talk. Blue food Thursdays.
Okay. Gotcha.
Of course. We all know about Blue Food Thursdays.
Yes, don't we all have that? There's something weird so far.
No, this is totally normal. I thought it was a joke,
Think
so
of
I
what's
laughed.
blue
and
besides blueberries?
She's dead serious. She explained how every Thursday she only eats blue foods for, quote, energy alignment or something. When I told you this was an Aquarius story.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
To prove it, she pulled out a bag of blueberries and blue M&Ms out of her purse and started eating them right there.
Okay, you know what? Go ahead.
Well, what else
listen.
is fucking blue, though?
No, it's because there's not a lot
food
of
dye?
there's not a lot of things in nature that occur, naturally that are blue. So yeah,
That's it.
She's
You
got to
get
be eating things that are
blueberries
dyed.
Blue M&Ms. I tried to play along, but when she asked if I'd try it too, I just kind of mumbled something about needing time to prepare.
I'm gonna use
I'm gonna go ahead and need to prepare. I have to get my energy alignment. I'm not prepared for blue food Thursday.
Such a good response to something so banana sandwich.
It's so
I'm just not prepared for this.
I'm not prepared. We wrapped things up after about an hour. She hugged me and said, "Next time, wear blue." There was no next time.
What? Look, this does sound batshit, but I also I want her to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Please
It's energy
explain your logic.
alignment.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
I need you to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Does it align with a certain chakra you're trying to activate? What is it?
I'm
What
sorry,
is it? Is your
Keegan.
aura
Keegan,
blue? Are you
trying to tell
Yep,
me you
sorry.
don't know about blue food energy alignment?
I'm
Wow.
so ashamed.
We're going to get TikToks about it now.
I can't wait. Oh, great.
Truly.
It's so true.
We really are.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Here's mine. Started chatting to a guy who was the year above me at school. He didn't remember me, but I remembered him as I fancied the pants off him.
Oh, high school crush.
Yeah, and
Fancied
reconnecting
the
when you're
pants.
older and hotter.
Yes.
That's the dream.
Oh my God.
He was absolutely full of red flags, which I obviously ignored because I was like a schoolgirl again and couldn't believe I was talking to Kev from year 11.
Oh, my God.
We've all been there.
Yes.
What a
yes, we
time
have.
trap. It
Been
is.
there. Yes. It's just you go right back to feeling like you're a teenage girl again.
Yeah.
And you ignore all the red flags because you're like, I couldn't get you in high school, but I can
But I
fucking
can
get you now.
I can get you
Yes.
now. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Ah.
We were supposed to go to a nice pub for a meal and a few drinks for our first date. I had put so much effort into looking nice for it. You name it, I'd done it. Anyway, an hour before we were supposed to meet, he texts and asks if I could go to his house first. Alarm bells ring, but I knew who he was. I knew where he lived, and I actually knew his housemate too. So I agreed, thinking we were going to go to the pub from his place. Wrong. I got there. He admitted he had just been to the pub and didn't fancy going back out. In his house, he had 0 food, 0 drink except for beer, 0 cutlery, 0 anything.
You just eat with your fingers?
You're not eating. There's no food.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they were supposed
it's
to
a
go
DoorDash
out.
household.
Is he certain that he lives there? Or that
Yeah.
anyone lives there?
Yeah. Also, he has a housemate. None of you
That
need cutlery.
that housemate hides all the shit in their
Yeah,
room.
that's 100%.
That's what that is.
He's got a hot plate in there.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, bitch. I know you never clean up, motherfucker.
His house was pretty much empty. It was dirty. It was just horrific. And she's all dressed up. She's waxed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
God, is there anything worse than when your hopes are that high to get them dashed that way?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're like, do I really want to do this guy on that
this
dirty
nasty
mattress?
Sofa?
Nope.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh.
We then both sat on the sofa for about 4 hours, drinking cans of beer whilst I sat listening to him talk about his ex the majority of the time.
Ooh.
I was absolutely gutted and drinking on an empty stomach. I ended up embarrassingly bursting into tears. I cried on his shoulder.
Oh, no.
It was midnight at this point. He left me to walk the 1.5 miles home alone.
Oh my
At
God.
midnight.
Oh,
A mile and a half.
Wow. So it's not just his house that's garbage. He is too.
He's garbage. Yeah.
Ugh.
Sadly, I still see him on a daily basis as his daughter goes to the same school as mine. Not awkward at all.
Oh,
Wow.
yikes.
That is beyond disappointing.
Yeah.
I had my moment where I got to get my crush, my middle school crush, to like me back. My
a
senior
powerful feeling.
year
Yeah.
at a dance. You know, I forget if it was homecoming or prom or something like that. And then you just get to like brush it off and like walk away and you're like, I did it. You
I
know what I mean?
won.
You feel so I won.
Yeah.
You know?
It feels
But-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to take it farther and be like, oh, okay, and then see all the like red that would have been
It's kind
so
of like
disappointing.
a don't meet your hero situation.
Yes.
Like
Truly.
you've got to let this
Yep.
person just live in your mind as who they were,
Yep.
because you've definitely romanticized them over the last 15 years or however
Yes.
long it's been. You
and
know,
sure, you can romanticize a lot of things, but don't romanticize a man, especially like. Do you know what I mean?
I do know
You
exactly
will be
what you fucking mean.
disappointed.
As a Pisces professional romanticizer,
Yes.
like it has done me dirty many,
Yes.
many times.
and then let this
way-
be a lesson.
Yeah.
The way the Aries in me was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but yes. Yes.
You're like, I've never trusted a man a day in my
Sure.
fucking life.
Sounds good.
God. Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then come back with the Tainted Love?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And we're back.
Okay, I have the Tainted Love this week, and I was rewatching a lovely program. I think it's on Max called Vanity Fair Confidential.
Oh,
Yes.
love that show.
Me too. There's not like wild reenactments or anything like that, and they usually do like a really good job. I had never heard of this before, so. You guys might have if you watched this episode, but I think it's the last episode of season 4. So I'm going to tell you guys about the terrifying stalking of Joy Silverman.
You know, this fills me with the most like I'm anxious already.
Keegan loves a stalker story.
Right.
I feel like sweaty already.
Yeah. So Joy Silverman was born in 1947. She was like middle class, maybe lower middle class, raised by a single mother. But when she was 15, her mom started working as a secretary for this really wealthy, successful builder named Bibbs Wallaceoff. And he ends up like divorcing his wife and marrying Joy's mom. And so they go from like nothing to like, it's like a rags to riches story. She gets to go to this fancy boarding school. Bibbs dotes on her. Like he has older children from his marriage, like boys, but he does not get along with them at all. He loves Joy. So Joy's mother ends up getting cancer and actually passes away, but Bibbs promises her mother, like, I will take care of Joy. I'll make sure she's taken care of. So he sets up this killer trust fund for her, and he makes sure it's airtight. He wants to make sure that his boys don't get their hands on any of his money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is like terrible.
Okay.
But he's like, no, Joy is going to get my money, and my good friend, Saul Walkler, is going to be the executor of the estate. And Saul is like, I cannot emphasize to you guys like what a rock star he was, in that he was the chief judge of New York State Appeals. He's like, people were so obsessed with him. He was like the perfect judge. People were pushing for him to be governor.
Ooh.
Like,
wow.
He's the one that came, you know, that I can indict a ham sandwich
Yes.
quote.
Yes.
That's him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he was like I mean, it's New York, so it's one of the most important courts in the land. He was a Republican, but he was well liked on both sides of the aisle because he had very progressive things that he pushed socially, but was also like Republican.
Right. I mean, and what year was this?
This was like in the 80s.
Yeah. 80s
So
Republican
it
was very different. Well,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah. But so yeah, he was like making sure this trust was wrapped up airtight, right? And when it was like a $3 million trust, but when Bibbs later passed, he left the majority of his whole estate to Joy. So it became like many millions. So Joy was kind of lost without her mom, it seemed, and kind of didn't know what she was supposed to do. She went to college for a few years. She got married a couple of times, but just was kind of like a housewife, didn't really like know what she wanted to do with her own life. So she got married for a third time to Jeffrey Silverman, and their marriage was like kind of like rocky, but she got pregnant and unfortunately lost the baby, but then they adopted a baby girl right after that, Jessica, and she just became like a devoted mom, but she's still looking for something else to do. So she goes to Saul Walkler, and his wife Joan is actually her step cousin because Joan was related to Bibbs Wallaceoff. And they're like mentors for her. So Saul's like, you should get into politics, like, or fundraise. You would be really good at it. And this was H.W. Bush. So she just walks into a fundraising office and she kills it. She starts from the bottom and she ends up being one of the top fundraisers for H.W. Bush's campaign.
That is a specific skill set. To be really good, like I'm on the fundraising committee for my nonprofit, and I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. Being really good at fundraising, it's so much being very good at being able to charm people and talk to people, and all of that stuff is so important. Like I respect it.
Yeah.
If you're really good at it.
And not only that, like Barbara Bush loved her. Like she got to be really good friends with the Bushes. So it like gave her confidence, She's like,
it would give me confidence.
I've got this skill set. She was so good, in fact, that HW put her up to be the ambassador to Barbados, which first and foremost, what a fucking,
amazing.
How do we apply for that position? Like
also to start at the bottom, like in the fundraiser, I mean, starting from the bottom, right? She had tons of connections, blah, 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 whatever. But like
starting from the bottom with millions in a trust fund.
Right. And like the ability to just walk into George H.W. Bush's office and be like, can I have a job, please?
Yeah.
But with that said, starting from the bottom in fundraising and then potentially being the ambassador to Barbados.
Yeah.
It's quite the come up.
Yes, but I mean, she got laughed out of her Senate confirmation hearing because this was back in the 80s when qualifications mattered, and not like
friends.
Today.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about. There's so much has happened in the last week that like I will forget things until you say things like that, and then it will come back to me like a suppressed memory.
Yeah.
Like I'll just shudder and be like, oh yeah, Pete.
We used to at least pretend to play by the rules, and to care about things like qualifications and everything, and
morals, ethics,
all of that
blah,
stuff,
blah blah
blah blah blah. And so she didn't get it. So it was bruised, but she was still like, okay, like I have this thing I'm good at. And she kind of like felt like her life was going to go somewhere. Meanwhile, her marriage to Jeffrey is like falling apart, that kind of thing. So they end up getting a divorce. His is another like tainted love story, but I won't get into that now. But it's a side quest that doesn't need to be stated here.
3 divorces though. God.
Yeah. But she's just like, I'm going to focus on being a mom and I can do this thing now. And also I don't have to worry about money because I'm,
loaded.
Got all this money.
Yeah.
So it's like 1991. She starts getting these hang up phone calls. And she's like, this is weird, whatever. But then she starts getting these calls where someone is speaking on with that one of those electronic disguise voice things, threatening her 14-year-old daughter, Jessica, and basically saying, like, I have pictures of you that I will release. Like, so she's obviously very, very unsettled. This is terrible. And then the letters start coming, little cards and everything like that, saying that I have pictures of you. Oh, I like that blue nightgown that you have on laid across your bed. Oh my God,
is he in the walls?
No, this is my nightmare. Like, literally, I feel like crying. Like, I would freak out so bad.
It's so terrifying. It is so terrifying. Like, your home is your safe space, and you have somebody now sending letters to you, sending letters to your 14-year-old daughter.
No.
So she starts opening Jessica's mail because she had gotten this cute card with like a kitten on it. She opens the card, a condom falls out.
Jessica needs to go stay with her dad.
A condom.
No.
And it's like, this is for your boyfriend to use when you do it. I have pictures of your mother doing it.
Oh my
Can you
God.
fucking imagine?
No.
It's so she is obviously unsettled, but she is friends with the president of the fucking United States. Well, so she's like, boop, 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 boop. Hey, HW. Like, this shit is happening to me. Someone keeps calling me. Someone keeps fucking showing up, you know, or like putting letters in my mailbox. He's like, cool. Here's the chief of the FBI at this point, like the head of the FBI.
Good to have friends.
He's on the case. Yeah. Listen, this is a terrible, horrifying story, and it would be a horrifying place to be in. And if only every stalking case was handled by the head of the FBI.
Truly.
Yeah. So I definitely don't want to begrudge her. Like, they should all be treated like this,
if I had these connections, I would do the exact same thing.
Exactly.
I don't begrudge her at all, but it is true where it's just like with other stalking cases, they literally are like, IDK, he hasn't hurt you yet.
He hasn't threatened you.
I can't do anything about it. Yeah. So this is definitely, nobody should have to go through this, but she is in the best possible position.
Exactly. So meanwhile, so the FBI is starting to get involved. Her doorman, while she's out one day, tells her when she gets home, hey, this dude stopped by for you. He's wearing a cowboy hat. He's like very overweight, like hunched, limping. He says his name is David Purdy, and he's like a PI from Texas. And she's like, what is happening right now? And meanwhile, her boyfriend, who she's dating, is this high-profile attorney named David Sampson. Now, Sampson tells her, hey, my ex-wife is starting to get hang-up calls. My ex-wife is starting to get letters, basically like threatening to have photos. Or it's not his ex. Technically, at that point, they're separated. They're going through a divorce. So his ex-wife is getting like, hey, I can sell you pictures of David cheating on you with blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, we're separated. Like, I don't want to see pictures of him and his new girlfriend. Like, whatever.
Who gives a shit, right?
And then he starts getting stuff at his office. Basically, like, the same thing. Like, I'm going to sell pictures of you with Joy. Like, all this stuff. So he's like, this is really strange. And then he's fighting this big trial against, like, he wants to put a toxic waste plant in a small town, and he's fighting against the small town. So, I mean, terrible.
Yikes.
But the person that's against him basically gets all this incriminating, like, I can give you all this incriminating stuff about David Sampson. So, like, now David's getting involved too. It's not just Joy. So she's like, what is going on?
Right.
Like, something is happening. But the FBI is like, we're kind of hesitant to get involved. He hasn't explicitly threatened you yet until he sends a letter basically saying, like, if you don't give me $20,000, I'm going to kidnap
like an
Jessica. And she's
extortion
going to
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So now they're like, okay, now we can act. So his letter is like, I want $20,000. I need you to put an ad in the paper. This has been going on for like months now, almost a year. Put an ad in the New York Times that's in the Lost and Found section. Lost and Found, Texas Bulldog responds to the name David, and then an unlisted phone number that only I can. And you're like,
this has been going on for almost a year, and the chief of the FBI is on it, and they can't figure this shit out.
Right.
When he's like making contact.
Well, when the FBI gets involved, it actually goes really quick.
Oh,
She
okay.
doesn't
I got
contact the FBI until it's been going on until the Jessica condom
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
card. So yeah, it's been going on, but when Jessica gets that condom card is when she
Yep.
calls in the big dogs. So she puts the ad in the paper, and the FBI is like, awesome, we'll coach you. This is what to say when they call, like the whole thing. We're going to trace it. Few days go by. She gets a call, and it's a hang up call. FBI's like, okay, that's okay. We still got enough. We can trace it.
Wow.
And they trace it to the court system
What?
Interesting.
of New York,
Interesting.
to the
Fucking-
office of Saul
No.
Shut
Wackler.
your
No.
fucking mouth. Christina. Incredible storytelling. Wow, what a reveal.
They are like, okay, that's weird. Why would Saul Wackler? And she's like, oh, well, we had an affair a few years ago. And yeah, scandalized. So
Oh.
they're like, okay, tell us more. So back in 88, when her marriage was kind of like falling apart and everything, she's like looking at Saul as a mentor, helping her out, helping her get on her feet. They start this hot and heavy affair. She falls for him hard. He's like 17 years her senior.
Right.
But she is like smitten, totally smitten with him. She's like, you need to leave your wife. They carry on for like almost 4 years, like together,
no.
sneaking off, doing the deed. And nobody bats an eye because like she was his quote unquote ward. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and Saul was so far above, like he used to make
Reproach.
fun of,
Yeah.
of politicians who had like mistresses
It's
in Albany.
Always the ones who talk the loudest. They're always the ones doing the shadiest shit.
Him and Joan had been married for like 40 years at this point. So they're carrying on hot and heavy. 3 years, Joy is pressuring him to get married. Everything. He's like, he won't leave his wife. He won't leave his wife. He won't leave his wife. Finally, she gives him an ultimatum. Like she gets the strength because she's starting to feel more confident in herself. She's now this like big fundraiser. She's like, you know what? If you're not going to leave your wife, like this isn't going to go anywhere. He's like, I will leave my wife by Labor Day weekend. Right before that happens, he comes to Joy and he's like, actually, I have a brain tumor. And so Joan doesn't know about us
can
yet.
you give me $800,000?
Oh, no.
Joan doesn't know about us yet. She'll take care of me, which is a fucking awful thing
Yeah.
to say.
That is
like,
horrible.
that's
That is
awful.
so fucked up, dude.
If you really want to get pissed off, look at the statistics around what happens when women get
I
cancer
know.
I know.
Ah. Gross.
versus, anyways.
Never romanticize a man.
That's
Nope.
right.
Ever.
Ever. And prioritize your female friendships. Anyways, so he's like, I got this brain tumor. Like, you're young. Go and date other people, kind of thing. She's like, okay. And that's when she starts dating this David Sampson, who is her age. Super hot, super wealthy, successful lawyer.
Oh no,
and
Saul's
she
Fifi's
falls
got hurt, huh?
for David
Yeah.
hard. She's like, doesn't have time for Saul anymore.
Seems like she falls hard in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's
What's
with
her
this
sign?
Safa guy now. Yeah, seriously.
Well, do you have it?
Oh, she was born in
Oh, okay.
1947. I don't know
There's no
exactly
date.
when.
Okay.
We'll have to look. But Yeah, she's like, okay, that is crazy. Like, it can't be Saul. It can't be Saul. It's got to be somebody working in his office trying to set him up, right? Like,
Sure.
Okay, why?
That is so, like, everyone is like, it is not him. It is not him.
I could convince myself of that. I could be like, well, he's so successful. Like, he's been involved in all these cases. Like, maybe somebody's trying to screw, like, like, frame him.
And the FBI talks to the DA. He's like, you better get a mountain of evidence if we're going to.
This guy's powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, he's going to be running for governor.
And
no.
well liked.
Yes. So they're like, okay. Calls back a few days later and actually talks on the phone. They trace the call to a phone booth. They go to said phone booth. They snip the receiver. They test for fingerprints. Saul Wackler.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
The DA is still like, there's still not enough.
Dude.
I mean,
You got to be airtight.
yeah, that could honestly, he could have used it at any point. They don't know that he made that call.
Yes, that's true.
Exactly. So they keep waiting. He keeps mailing letters that they have to intercept, like all of this stuff. So finally, like he's like sets up the drop for the $20,000. And he's like, $20,000, I'll give you the negatives of these incriminating photographs that I have for you.
He doesn't even need the money.
Right.
Like, all of this is just to
For what?
terrorize her.
Right. So the drop ends up getting scheduled, and now FBI, like the entire FBI is working on this case. They're following him everywhere. So he leaves his judge chambers, he gets in his car, and he starts driving in the direction of Joy's apartment. They're following him. He passes Joy's apartment, a few blocks away, pulls over. They're watching him. He gets around to the trunk of his car, opens it up, puts on a cowboy hat, stuffs his shirt.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he goes in disguise. He's in disguise. He goes, hails a cab, gives the cab driver a letter, and then walks back to his car. So the FBI people are like, what is happening? They go intercept the cab. They get the letter, and it's another threatening letter saying, like, fuck your $20,000. I actually want $200,000. Like, all this stuff. So that's finally enough for the DA to be like, arrest this motherfucker.
Can you imagine your ego, like your toxic masculinity being such that you would risk your entire life, like you would risk your career, your ability to be the governor of your state, like you're gonna your marriage, like you're risking everything because your feelings got hurt, your ego got bruised.
Wow.
That is so fucking like bananas.
Oh, get ready, because this story ain't motherfucking
I need
over.
everyone to know that Christina is not looking at her notes at all. Like, literally her tablet like went off.
Yes.
Because like she hasn't looked at her notes at all.
No, because this story, I watched this on Vanity Fair Confidential, and I was like, I was riveted. It's a really good episode, so I definitely recommend watching that. And then there's also a really good article in the New York Magazine about it that'll be posted on our website with the show notes.
And
But
I imagine New York society was losing it.
yeah.
Losing it.
Yes. So he's arrested and people lose their minds. He goes immediately into a psychiatric hospital where he's evaluated by tons of psychiatrists. Some say, oh, he's bipolar. Some say, oh, this was medication he was on. So he was on a mix of, I forget the name of the medicine, but it was basically speed, like a pick-me-up
Yeah.
during the day.
Yeah.
and that
But
kind
you
of
know
thing.
what? I don't know that Adderall makes you fucking
No.
like write threatening letters.
Right,
Yeah.
to 14-year-old girls with
Yeah.
condoms in them.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Gross. Oh my God.
So-
He did that.
He did
Disgusting.
that. New York society is so aghast at this because he was such a paradigm of like justice and righteousness, and he was like above being seen as a slimy politician, that it just like it really fucked with people and they couldn't believe it. He tries to plead insanity. they pretty much are able to rule that out. With state psychiatrists and stuff, they're just like, no, it's not going to work, because
nice try, dude.
then we're going to have to throw out like all of his cases during this entire year. If you were insane, no,
well,
you
and
weren't.
You're not insane. Like, you're doing things to cover up your crime.
Yes.
Like, you do know that what you're doing is wrong. You know enough.
You're
to
donning
do that.
disguises.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not crazy. You're just a fucking asshole.
Right.
Meanwhile, so he has to resign from the bench. He does plead guilty. He gets 15 months. Meanwhile, Joan is in the media, and he is in the media basically saying Joy was such a siren.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Joy was
Here
a
we go.
temptress.
She
was.
Joan, what are you, sis, girl, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going to stand beside my man.
Oh,
Gross.
God.
And all of New York sides with
Shut up.
them.
I
Joy is a gold digger.
No.
She is a Jezebel. She is there just digging up, all kinds of dirt. Oh, did you know she had 2 abortions? Did you know?
This is
like
the Tammy Faye Baker, that whole shit, where what they did to her.
My chest hurts.
Yeah.
This is such a common story for the early 90s,
Yes.
like the 80s, the early 90s. Like, we all just went along with it.
Good man was led astray by this woman with no morals.
This is the same decade as Monica Lewinsky.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, we just loved to tear a woman apart.
And there's a reason why it's called the Monica Lewinsky scandal. And it's
Yes.
it's the Bill Clinton scandal.
When she was like 22 or something.
Yes,
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he's
It's
the fucking
terrible.
president.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but he just couldn't. How could he, just little old man, how could he resist her, Cassie? It's not his fault. She seduced him. He was helpless.
helpless.
It's so insulting to men too. Like,
Honestly.
do men not feel insulted by
Embarrassed?
that? Like, it's just, like,
Aren't you
that
embarrassed?
you're incapable of controlling yourself.
Yeah. And so Joy takes her daughter and gets the fuck out of New York because it's fucking
rancid,
terrible. She's
yeah.
a private person, and
She's just been tortured for over a
just
year.
went through a year of dealing with the psychological torture of being fucking stalked, threatened, her daughter threatening to be kidnapped, all of that shit, having to go through a very invasive like FBI investigation, all of that shit, and then trial by media. She's guilty. She's guilty.
Yes. Oh, it's furious.
And so Saul Walkler gets out of prison, gets reinstated.
Shut your
onto
fucking
the bench.
mouth, Christina. Why are you telling us this story? Why are you doing this to us? Do
He
you know how
is
hard?
a very successful professor.
Of course.
He's written books. He is well renowned for his work now with mental health.
Mental health.
And-
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not mentally strong enough to handle this. Like, this month has been so difficult.
When I watched this, my
Keegan is gonna
jaw
die.
was on the floor at the immense amount of rage I felt on this. Because although some things have changed, some things haven't. And it still is very much this, I still feel like that narrative exists of the woman that led the man astray. And it's like
The siren. Wow. Just what a. Christina, you broke Keegan. She's broken now.
I'm sorry.
She's so broken.
To return
We
to
had to wind her back up.
I really just I'm just so tired. And I'm so tired. Like, men make me tired. Existing as a woman in this society and having to just hear this shit all the time and see it, and for there to be no justice in this story, no real justice in this story,
Right.
makes
Yeah.
me I just need to take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think my moral of the story is that, I mean, even if you are a rich connected woman who's friends with the president, and
Oh my God.
Yeah.
that
Not
at
even
the
you.
end of the day, you're still a fucking woman.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. God. What a.
Yep.
Hope you guys have been watching
Wow.
Happy Things.
No,
Yeah.
but seriously, like, I think when
Yeah.
we see stories like that in the media,
Yep.
call it the fuck out.
Yes.
If somebody's trying to blame
Yeah.
the woman for an affair, the other woman,
Yeah.
fucking call it out.
Yeah.
The man was the married one. The man was the one that stepped out
And
on
stalked
his
her.
fucking vows and stalked and was a criminal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, like, great story, Christina, because honestly,
story.
like,
Yeah.
it's infuriating, but at the same time, it's just, yeah.
Well, we
I
need to be
mean,
reminded. We do need to
exactly.
be reminded because it is a it doesn't, that's the thing, is just like, nothing's gonna protect you. Nothing's gonna inoculate you from existing. If you're a woman in this country, just know that, like, anything that you think makes you different or makes you safe, or because you side with these people, or
Right.
you know,
You're
like,
siding with your oppressor.
right.
Yep. So just
Yeah.
know that nothing protects you. You are a woman, but
That's why we got to have
we
each other's
as-
backs.
Can protect each other.
that's why we have to have each other's backs.
Yep.
That's right. And not fucking fall for that bullshit or
No
whatever.
more.
And I also do want to say, because we do have some really incredible male listeners
Yes.
on this show.
We're not talking
Like,
about you.
and also, like, call out your fellow
Yeah.
men. And I know that they did. Like, I've seen it. Like,
Yeah.
we have
Yep.
male listeners that I see make posts and comments.
Yep.
And so I know that, like, if this was happening, they would be like, no, fuck that guy. Like, this is bullshit.
Right.
You know, so because again, unfortunately, like, we can protect each other, but they need to hear it from you. Like, they need to hear it from other men.
Yeah,
that,
that's
like,
right.
this behavior is, like, really disgusting. We do have self-control, like, you know, like, all of those things. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the men who are willing to kind of, like, stand up and stand beside the women in their lives too.
That's right. Oh, well, what are you guys watching this week?
Well, I was out of town most this week, so I literally watched when I got home from work and was laying down on my bed. I was watching really just dumb Hallmark movies. So that's where my
like
head's
that.
been.
That's where
Like,
you need, like,
yeah.
that's nice.
Just
That's good.
I watched.
Yeah.
It took 3 nights to watch one single movie because I kept falling asleep. I was just, this is perfect. It's perfect. I
Yeah.
need to go to bed. I don't want to.
It's okay to fall asleep too.
Yes.
It's like, you know, what are you really missing?
Yeah.
You know how this is going to go.
and I can
Like,
come back. It's not that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, outside of my Vampire Diaries rewatch, I did start the Synanon limited series, like
Yes.
docuseries on Max. Man, that story's bonkers.
I don't
Yeah.
know
Like,
this.
and I know it, like, I've heard it before. So on Max, there's the Synanon. It's like a docuseries, like 4 or 5 episodes or something. And, you know, Synanon started out as a, like, recovery group. Like, it was, like, kind of the
yes.
first group for addicts.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you see it, like, start as this great thing where, like, all these people are, like, there was no help for you if you were an addict, like, if you were a drug addict, not like an alcoholic.
That's how all like cult stories start. Though.
Yeah.
Feels
it
like
has
it.
to be a great thing
Yeah.
in order to
Right.
lure people
helps
in.
people.
But you
Yeah.
see it get just so, like, it basically went from something like AA, which I know people have very strong feelings about AA one way or the other, but it started out as something like that for drug addicts. And then, like, fast forward just like a couple of years later, and they're all, like, living on a commune together with shaved heads wearing overalls. And you're like,
Yeah.
what? This escalated so quickly.
fast.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
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 No, I've wanted to watch that. There's another new docu-series on Max too that looks good that I haven't checked out. It's an update on our family
Oh my
about
God.
the family
I want to
bloggers.
see that. I want to see
Me
that.
too.
That stuff makes me so uncomfy. I watched a documentary on Ruby Frankie,
Oh.
and it was so. I knew it was bad, but then you watch it and you're like, "This was so much worse than
Yeah.
I ever
Side
thought."
eye.
I wanna see
all
that.
family social
Channels.
media channels
Yeah,
now.
me
I
too.
so side eye all
too.
of them.
I
Cringe.
I did watch the Jerry Springer doc, though.
Oh, fun.
Oh, time and place again. Man,
Yeah.
Wow.
what a weird time to exist.
Truly. I just finished the second episode of Severance. It's week to week now for season 2. And then I spend hours on the subreddit dissecting theories about the show.
Oh, geez.
It is so good. The second season is actually starting out to be even better than the first. The acting, superb. The tone, the directing, everything about it is perfection. I'm in love with this show right now. It is absolutely worth, like, Apple TV subscriptions are like nothing. Get it and watch this show.
Yeah.
So good.
You know what? I bet Joseph Gordon-Levitt watches Severance.
I bet he does.
gives me
I
that
bet,
energy.
he
he
has
does.
the best theories
Yeah,
too.
I bet he does. Wow.
He's probably on
Anyways.
Reddit in like incognito.
Oh my God. And we connect and then he asked me for $865,000 for his kidney cancer surgery.
I think it's his mom who's going to reach out, probably.
Yeah, totally. He needs a woman like me in his life.
Oh, man. You're
No.
like, Eric, sorry, gotta go. I got it. Joseph Gordon
Joseph needs me.
on the line here. Needs my help. Jesus.
Oh my God. Well, if you guys have a story to share, if you have a need of helping your son get through kidney cancer,
No.
Don't come
I
to
don't
me.
know.
Not
If
that.
that's what you
not
Never
that.
that.
Oh my God. Never that. Go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much. Cheers.